Hi, and we're live with the first episode of something that we don't know what to call just yet.
The 0 episode, not the first.
The 0 episode.
Oh, there you are.
And I'm Nathan. And on the other side, we've got
Gio.
And Andrew. Yay.
Cool. So,
Oh shit! Don't click the tab. It's actually showing the YouTube video. That was a bit. Apologies.
Like I said, the 0 episode, the one that doesn't count.
I think we're doing well, guys. I think this is gonna work.
cool. Right.
Then we should do episode 4 because that counts. But then if we do 1, 2, and 3 after that, then no one will remember those, and then we can carry on.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess the point of the evening is we've got some topic ideas, but I think the main idea is just to drink whiskey.
That sounds like a plan.
Speaking of which,
Raw.
that's what is that, Nathan?
This. It's currently iced coffee.
It's a mug of whiskey.
But
I think you missed.
There we go.
I think you missed the memo. All right.
salute.
Hang on, you drink
To pour mine.
you drink coffee and whiskey at 8:10 at night.
Yeah.
You are proper nocturnal. I've never drunk those two things at the same time. No, wait, I take that back. I have once. Our fellow friend of the show, Rion, put me on to a great cocktail, which is if you make iced coffee, but really, really strong iced coffee, or if you're fancy enough, you get espressos and put them in the freezer afterwards, or fridge. Get them really cold, and then add it to bourbon.
Ooh.
Sort of 1-to-1 ratio.
1-to-1.
Yeah, 1-to-1 ratio. So it's a short little shot. You end up with about 4 shots of goodness in your cup, yeah, or in your glass, with a whole bunch of ice. It is amazing. It sounds really grim, but it tastes.
Do you fall over afterwards?
No, because the coffee keeps you up. But it tastes like chocolate liqueur. It's really bizarre. So Sarah, the missus, really doesn't like coffee at all. She likes the smell of it when I grind it, but she won't drink the stuff. She likes whiskey, but she happily drinks that stuff because she's like, oh, that's like chocolate liqueur. And then I told her that there was coffee in it, and she's like, oh, but it's nice. It's bizarre.
But like, have you had the chocolate cake shooter?
No?
It's I don't know. It's got tequila in it, gold tequila and something else. But then you suck an orange afterwards, and it tastes just like chocolate cake. The problem is it does taste like chocolate cake, and then you have some more, and then it gets messy.
The more the merrier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm always worried about alcoholic drinks that don't taste or feel like alcohol. There's a there's a danger lurking in those.
Yeah.
Indeed. Cape Velvet. What's the other one? Caramel vodka.
What are you drinking?
Me, Grant's 12. I'm starting to get accustomed to the taste now. The first couple of
Grant's is quite pleasant.
Yeah, it's getting better now. It's apparently like you can't find it in most places of the world, so I thought I'd better buy a bottle.
Fair enough.
I've never had Grant's.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not challenging.
There's a couple of warning signs here. One, I'm growing accustomed to it. Strikes me as a slightly high barrier to entry. But how far through the bottle are you?
Like a third
Put the
in.
bottle at your desk.
A third in. The first bit was like, kind of like got you right there, and then the second bit I had with
Coke.
I had with coffee, because I thought, if this is not wonderful, at least let me have it with some good coffee. But then it was like, wow. But yeah, the third time we were lucky. It's gone a lot better.
See, at that stage, your palate and your tongue is just completely gone. So
Must be.
Everything just tastes amazing.
It sounds reasonably similar with what happens when you drink Johnny Red. The first one's disgusting, but by the time your tongue goes numb, then it's all right.
But this is the first one for the night, so I don't think my tongue is numb from the weekend.
Oh, we've got a joiner.
Hello, Alan.
Hello. Is it working?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah. Now the audio's working.
Clearly, I've got no.
We need someone who like heads up IT at a major company or something to help you out there. Sounds like you need some IT assistance.
Someone who's good at computers. Okay.
Oh, Gio, you fixed my sister-in-law's Windows 7
Did it work?
error. It did.
Please don't tell her it was me.
I'll give her your personal email address so that she can get hold of you whenever. Actually, do you know what I'll do? I'll add you to the IT support group that she added me and her brother to on WhatsApp.
Bless.
Where I get continuously updated on reasons why I hate Android and Windows, which is what they both run. I'm sort of the really obnoxious looker on in that group. I can't add anything, so I don't know their systems, but I just see them falling over the whole time.
No, steer away.
So Gio, what computer are you using at the moment?
I'm using a beautiful Dell.
Are you using work hardware at home?
It is a Dell Inspiron.
Okay. And your phone's working again. You haven't managed to fully brick it yet.
No. So, see, the trick with this is when you upgrade to iOS 11, beta, whatever, you can't actually go back to 10.
Okay.
So that took me only about 4 days to figure out.
So what was the eventual fix? Could you fix it? Did you have to use a computer to fix it, or?
I had to go and find a version of iOS 11 beta again, the installer, download the IPsx file, and then restore from that.
Using iTunes or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had to use iTunes because iTunes automatically downloads the
latest,
10, not 11.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go and find a temporary version on the internet, on the back of a truck. But thankfully, there's plenty out there. But yes, that was scary.
Yeah, what happened to me once is at some point, like in the reboot cycle, my phone froze. So, and it had just been on charge, so it was full, frozen with the screen off. So it doesn't matter what I did, like the home button and the power button, could not get it off. Eventually I went to and obviously the power of not being able to remove the battery is wonderful, so you can't do a hard reset. So I managed to get a phone repair shop to open the phone for me and unplug the power cable and plug it back in again, and then everything just rebooted. But wow.
All right.
Also nervous.
Yeah, I remember in the bad old days of my first ever smartphone was an HTC Desire, which was a horrible phone. But it looked amazing, and it was my first ever smartphone with like touch screen and stuff, and so I was sold. But the HTC version of Android was, it was disastrously desperately bad. So obviously the first thing you do is you root it and flash a new ROM on it, and you flash the vanilla Google on it, and I put that one on, and the screen went totally black, but the little startup bloop, bloop, came on. And I was like, oh, crap. Never done this before, not knowing what I'm doing, and now my brand new phone, like literally a week old, is bricked. So I was like, oh no. Onto internet.
Take that into the
and
top as well.
well, no, so it was my first lesson in why sort of fiddling around with phones is a bad idea. But it turns out that I had the HTC Desire that had just come out with like some other new screen thing. I don't know. Let's call it AMOLED or something. It probably wasn't, but let's call it that. And the ROM that I had flashed on it was for like an LCD screen or some crap. And so the ROM didn't talk to the screen. And there was no warning of this. It's just the Badlands of Android. And so my phone is actually working fine. If I'd known where to tap on the screen, I would have been able to use it totally fine. It just couldn't display anything. So luckily I managed to find the new ROM that supported the new screen and flash that back on. But after that I was like, no, this is a horrible idea. And of course I did it again and again. But you know, I'm
always amazed at how people are able to build such crap. I mean, my sister came here last night. She's like, I just want to show you. My sister just came back from 3 weeks overseas. She wants to show us the pictures. She went to see the family. So scrolling through, scroll. Then she wants to show us a video. So you get to the video, you press play. It doesn't actually do anything. Okay, all it does is it just loads. It looks like it's just loading the video in the buffer. Then you're going to press the play again to actually play.
right?
Then in order to stop, you press pause. Then you're going to press back. And then you're going to press back again to get to the actual display.
What? You lost
And now, just to make things even better, I'm going to introduce my daughter to the screen. Who's come to say goodnight.
Hi.
Bye.
Say hello to everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the Whisky Dad podcast.
Yay. Where's her whiskey?
No.
I mean, CBD. Am I what?
That is a 15-year-old Dimple whiskey.
It's older than you. Yeah.
Older than you.
Mm.
All right, I've got to go. Here we go. Sleep on.
Ooh, 8:20. Look at you, modern dad. Mine went bed an hour ago, and they were late.
Interesting thing is I told it 10 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, but that is kind of how it works, isn't it?
Kind of like goes. The self-policing doesn't work.
No, not at all. Aaron, the 8-year-old, he'll get up at the time that we prescribe, which is amazing. After lots of training involving, if you don't do this, then you don't get any TV for the rest of the day, which was probably the best incentive that we found yet for the kids.
I'm sure we can find a parent to disagree with you on that one there.
I'm sure we can. I'm doing the wrong thing, totally. But
We should ask Nathan his opinion.
I'm quite interested in this. So, like, do your children get up on their own?
Well, in the mornings.
they do now. When you say
How old are they?
define get up,
Like, do you wake them, or do they somehow miraculously wake up on their own?
So here's this thing. Here's an incredible thing that'll happen. During school time, Isabella, who you just met, will not get up at all. Okay.
That sounds familiar. I can identify.
Absolutely, I can understand that. It's perfect. The second school holidays start, the very first morning, 6:30 or 6 o'clock, we're awake and we're ready to go.
but Dad must play with me.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So
I never had that problem.
No, look, I'm waiting. I know at some point there's going to be a little switch in her brain that's going to just flick over.
Yep.
And it's going to go from, I don't want to sleep during school holidays to, oh my gosh, I can sleep until 9 o'clock in the morning during school holidays.
And then her brother will wake up.
Yeah.
No,
So-
we're lucky. We've got my oldest is a morning kid, and so he somehow has an inbuilt alarm. He will wake up at 5 to 6 every day, 7 days a week, holidays or not holidays. 5 to 6 on the nose,
Oh, geez.
holidays or not holidays. And then when it's 6 o'clock, he'll get out of bed and he'll go make himself breakfast, get himself dressed, brush his teeth, and be ready to go to school 10 to 7. When his younger brother, 5 years old, is still fast asleep, and you have to rouse him basically by picking him up and shaking him and, splashing his face with water and coaxing him through the next 3 hours. And he'll be awake at about 9:30.
I identify.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my wife actually.
Yeah, well, that's me. And the 5 to 6 kid is my wife.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I've had water thrown on me.
Yeah. I'm the Muppet that's up. It's if I'm not going for a run in the morning, I'm the one that's up at 6 o'clock getting everything ready for school. I'm like super dad in the morning. Rubbish dad in the evening.
You go running in the morning before you drop the kids off at school.
Yeah.
That's proper super dad.
Except when it rains.
Yeah, but you mean like tomorrow and Wednesday?
Yeah. That's fine.
Is rain coming?
Office.
Oh yeah. Well,
we'll see how much they say.
Not proper rain.
Well, any rain is good. It's so dry at the moment. It's quite terrible.
Yeah, man, we're droughting. Tell me something. Nathan, are you our chief summarizer in chief? That keeps us to the show notes, or the.
Well, we can make things up as we go. But
yeah. By the way, what did happen to Alan?
His internet dropped off.
Yeah, he came.
His internet died.
Maybe there's no internet down there in the Badlands.
Doesn't he live in like the deep south?
He lives, down that way.
Pretty sure.
This is in like Sun Valley.
Something like that.
Yeah, because he's a member at Clovelly Golf Club, because that's close.
Oh, he's a golfer.
He is a golfer. We are golfers.
Are you?
Yeah. Remember, I invited you to that golf day, but you can't play golf, so you didn't come.
No, I can't play golf. I'm just rubbish at it. The last time I played at a golf day, I take my bag, because I have a bag. I have golf clubs, rock up, put the ball into the ground, and I just hear someone shouting from the back, "Is that a range ball?" Yes, it is. Is that a problem? Apparently it's a problem.
Yes, no, you aren't allowed to play with range balls.
Aren't you?
That is thoroughly frowned upon.
Wow. Now, how is someone supposed to know this stuff? Like,
someone shouts at you when you try to put it down on the ground.
Yes, however, I did take a 3-wood and I milked it down the center of the fairway. Too much applause.
Oh, that's all right. With a range ball, or then did you swap the ball out?
But it was the most important shot.
No, the first one is the important one. That's the one everyone's watching. After that, no one cares.
Of course, it was at Sternberg. So after that, I was just trying not to break anyone's house.
No, man. I remember as kids, we used to play at Beechwood in Durban, which was another one of these. It was a 10 and 8 course. But on the first 10, down 2 of the holes, you had houses, but not on. It was like before the days of like having houses on a golf course. These were people who happened to live next to the golf course across the road. And I remember one of my mates, when we played there, he horribly sliced his drive on a driver, and it went dead straight for about 100 meters, and then started turning right, and just turned right at right angles, and just pretty much went straight into their sliding door on their balcony at 90 degrees, and left an almighty smash. And so we ran like hell, and just sort of forgot about that hole and went to the next one. Blaming people behind. That was great fun.
That's how it works. I mean,
because they probably don't even have the insurance because they aren't on the course.
As far as I know, there are only, I think there's 2 golf estates in South Africa where the golfer is liable for any damage.
Oh, really? Which 2? I need to know.
Sternberg and Fancourt, apparently.
Oh, Sternberg, one of them.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I could be completely wrong. It could just be a story I heard. So, completely unverified fact.
Sternberg's down your way, your office way, hey?
Yes, it's where you hit ducks if you miss hit off the tee, like I did.
You hit a duck.
Look, they were in front of. They were about 50 meters ahead of us by the little lake, and I duffed my approach shot, and I hit it low and straight. It was a rabbit killer, but it ended up being a duck killer.
Oh, there's another word that rhymes, but anyway.
The fan court houses are very close to the course. They're practically on top of the course. It's actually quite intimidating. I don't think I'd feel comfortable playing there.
Strikes me as a design flaw.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't think I'd want a house there either, because it's super risky of getting windows smashed.
Well, I must admit, I'm not all that worried about getting a window or two smashed. I'm more worried that I've bought this house for like 15 bar, and I can't go into the garden because I might die, and my kids can't go into the garden, so they might die. I mean, can you imagine trying to sell that in a not golf estate environment where, oh, we've got this lovely house. Look at this, great aspects. It's just massive lawn. All day, every day, 7 days a week, there will be people smashing these projectiles, potentially straight into your house and across your garden. But don't worry, you are insured against any damage on your house for these people that will keep smashing stuff with your house. 15 bar, bargain. No.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not the kind of guy who would probably buy onto a golf estate.
Well, so friends of ours live in Pearl Valley, and they don't live on one of the fairways, A, because they don't play golf, and B, because they don't want to get smashed with balls the whole time, and C, because the houses are cheaper. But apparently, like the whole Pearl Valley estate thing, if you're into estate living, is really nice and really safe. They had a couple of nasty house burglary issues living out Stellenbosch way, out rural on the farms. And so they wanted to still kind of live rural on the farm estatey, without having their, without him knowing that while he's overseas at conferences, there's a very good chance his wife's going to be held up at kind of knife point repeatedly. But yeah, so I mean, they love Pearl Valley for that, but they don't play golf. So I suppose
Pearl Valley, Pearl Valley, friend of the show, future sponsor.
Ooh, yeah. And fan court. What are all the ones that are operated by? Is Pearl Valley operated by?
No, just
potentially
Pearl
friends
Valley.
of the show.
Just Pearl Valley.
I thought fan court as well. Oh, not fan court. The other one. Can't remember his name now.
What, Valdevie?
No, but isn't that a polo estate, not golf?
We only own Valdevie and Pearl Valley.
Only.
And Melrose Arch.
And what?
But Nathan, you Melrose Arch?
Melrose Arch. I heard something ranch. Sorry, carry on.
The ranch. I
Well,
don't know
that's
what
the
that is.
Ashton Kutcher, right?
Wasn't the ranch the place that is shut down for anyway?
For what, Andrew?
Adult sessions of stuff.
Entertainment.
Yes, I think so.
I think the ranch had dancing girls.
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, you were going to ask Nathan something.
Yeah, Nathan, you're a big fan court visitor. What's the highlight of fan court?
In winter, they have Vino Mondays, which is pretty cool. So wine estates come in, basically host tastings and let you taste interesting wine. It's pretty cool on a Monday evening.
Okay.
Then what else is interesting? Oh, the coffee shop. It has actually like decent coffee, so you can go there on the weekends or up until about 6 in the evening to get a decent espresso or flat white and some interesting cake. So that, and then they make a mean seafood pizza. So if you go to a wine tasting, so not this marinara mix nonsense. They do fresh prawns and mussels and calamari and with a touch of chili and garlic, and that's like really epic.
I have to be honest, I'm not a seafood pizza kind of guy.
Yeah, no, well, this seafood pizza,
Okay.
it's good. Yeah, otherwise they do like occasional theme evenings, but yeah, I don't know. The wine coffee pizza, pretty good.
Okay, fair enough. So if you're not a golfer, you just a bit random.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm curious about Andrew's Jura.
My Jura. It's odd.
Oh, that's good.
It's, well, so I've had a few of these. I've had the Origin and the Superstition and the Prophecy. I haven't had the whatever it's called, the Durox Own, mainly because it's like unconscionably expensive. But this Tourist Mara, I've seen it duty frees pretty often, and Cape Town duty free. Word to the wise: buy your duty free in Cape Town, because you don't have to carry it around airports, and B, Cape Town has a sale or two on. But they had it on sale, so it was cheaper than the Superstition, and cheaper than the Origin. So I thought I'd try it.
Okay.
But it's really weirdly sweet, like proper sweet. Finished in a mix of bourbon barrels, Bordeaux wine, and ruby port casks, resulting in a array of enticing flavors of honeyed vanilla, succulent black cherries, fleshy grape pulp, and juicy raisins. Sweet thing, sweet thing, sweet thing, and sweet thing.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's rich and intense with black forest fruits and plums. It sounds like a flippin' wine bottle. You know.
But you read that before you bought it.
I did, and so I thought I'd better try this. I mean, you have to try
Just
it,
out of
don't
curiosity,
you?
how much was it?
600 rontas
Okay.
for a litre, which is all right. I mean, that's
A
plenty
litre,
of money.
okay.
Well, yeah, it's duty free's litres.
Okay.
So, it's, I mean, 600 rand for a litre's not bad. So it's like
Yeah, that's pretty good.
400, 450 for 700 mil. But if I have the choice again, I'll go for the Superstition or the Prophecy, I think. The Prophecy's really heavy though. Jeepers, that stuff's like sucking on a peat bog. In a nice way, but it's pretty much down the Lefroy path of experience.
But you're a peat guy, aren't you?
I do like peat, but I mean, there's peat and there's peat bog. Yeah,
With a capital F.
Jeepers, yeah. But I mean, look, it's nice. It's interesting. It's not like anything I've got in my cupboard, which I think is a good thing. I haven't had a whiskey like this before. That's quite so heavy and sweet. Very heavy mouthfeel. I don't know. It's like I've got some like Grants and stuff, which is really light, and Green Glenfiddich and stuff, which is summer's evening stuff.
I'm quite excited.
Summer lunchtime or whatever. But this stuff is definitely on the winter rack. Got some Talisker Dark Storm. It's just Dark Storm, isn't it? Which it also sort of sits on the cold winter's night rack. Nice
I'm very
stuff.
excited because my brother-in-law sent pictures of some of the whiskey he was buying, some of which is going to come hopefully my way. But there was a bottle of Hakushu single malt Japanese whiskey for 5,000 yen. And I was like, I have no idea how much 5,000 yen. I don't know how much that is in South African rands. So I did a quick calculation. 588 rand.
Well, that's okay.
So then I went to Bottle Shop.
But hang on, don't they sell theirs in half liters?
No, in 1.5 liters.
No, half.
No.
Oh, okay,
no, it was a liter. So then I did a quick check on Bottle Shop, and that 588 rand equates to 1,920 rand.
Jeepers.
So I would just say to him, buy a lot.
Buy a lot and sell for a profit.
No, it's ridiculous. It says like the Japanese whiskey there is dirt cheap, but I think you get bollocked for import duty here.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, I mean, I just got a guitar over there in the UK, and I was chatting with a friend of mine who imports electronic goods. 40%, I think he said the number was 45% import duty, which is chaos. So, you know, I bought the guitar, claimed the VAT back, and paid about half the price, the local price. It's just ridiculous. And the price difference we worked out was pretty much the import duty. You know, he makes the same profit that the guys in the UK make per item, and the government makes the rest.
It's crazy. So if they're taking 40% import duty, then they take 28% company tax, and then dividend 20.
Dividends 10%.
Nice. 20, yeah. Dividends got up to 20 now.
What? No.
So,
what? Dividends are 20% now.
Yeah. So I mean, wow. That's what? 40 plus 28 plus 20. That's mental. All going to the government on one item for zero value add. Zero value add. Wow. That's quite impressive. You know, legalized extortion.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, so like VAT in the UK is 20%, but at least you get it all back when you stand in a queue at the airport. I don't know, dividend tax is 20% now.
It's gone up this latest
this financial year.
Yeah.
Oh well, we haven't paid out dividends in quite a long time, so.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I really like this dimple.
No, I've had it for quite a long time. The one on my right cheek. Oh, all right, yeah.
Look,
I'll be around.
My snobbish behavior usually just looks at it and says, "Ugh," but it is actually quite nice.
I must try it again. I was heavily put off by it because my mom had a bottle of Dimple, and by the time she finished it was probably like 30 years old. She didn't drink much when I was a kid. I don't know why.
This is the 15. I haven't tried the 12 or the 18, but this 15 is very nice, and I think it's also about $500. It's not, and it's a liter, so it's not ridiculous.
So I tried it as a kid, and you know, as an 8-year-old trying whiskey, I was like, "Oh, this stuff's terrible." So whenever I see a bottle of Dimple now, I just think, "Ooh."
Yeah, when I was about 11, I remember one of my dad's friends trying to convince me. We went on a. Don't tell my mom, because she doesn't know. We went on for a boys' night, and that night I tried my first whiskey, which didn't go down well. I tried my first brandy, which went down a little bit better, and then I tried grappa, which I think
on the same night.
Yeah, look, it was just tastes. You know, it was just like little sips.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're 12, you're a bit main, so you think you're still gonna like. So that's why it took me so long to get back into whiskey.
Yuck.
So now, what glass are you drinking out of there, Gio? Is it a Nachtmann?
Oh, what?
I don't know. It's some lead crystal thing that I was given as a gift once.
A gift, okay. And what are you drinking out of, Andrew?
Me, cheap glass. Yay! The whiskey doesn't fall out. The whiskey doesn't fall out of it, and it's got a hole at the top.
So I've got a also quite simple one, a Bohemia.
Yours has a name?
Yeah, my simple glass has a name.
Mine doesn't have a name.
No,
I think this is known as a tumbler.
Yeah, fully. But there's some really interesting ones. I see Nachtmann make some in the very like classic style.
I have my FNB, my whiskey live glass, which I just use for water because it pours quite nicely.
Now something I discovered at a whiskey tasting recently with one of those glasses, if you by accident bump it over, whiskey doesn't spill out.
Really? I'm not going to try that.
Well, if you've only got a little bit of whiskey in it, sure.
Yeah, like a tasting amount. When it tips over.
No, this is a tasting amount. Yeah, that, isn't it?
Depends if
you go to generous tastings.
Cheapest. When I went to the Wade and Bales evening, yeah, they were not shy. It's not like Whiskey Live where you beg the unnecessarily attractive promo girl to pour you a little smidgen of whiskey. I mean, here you've got like old men in kilts pouring you half glasses.
Yeah.
Try our whiskey.
I much prefer going to tastings when the people serving it, you can see, drink it. They are more likely to let you drink it.
Well, the rule is you go to the counter with the most unattractive person behind it.
Yes. Yeah, we had a tasting at the cricket club a little while back. They give these wine estates in every now and then to like try and promote their stuff. And if everyone decides that the wine's nice, then they add it to the wine bottle options behind the bar. And so this guy came in with, I think, 3 reds and 3 whites or something. The whites were sort of okay. The reds were pretty good actually. And for the price they were talking, it was really good. And the thing was, he was a guy who made and drank a lot of wine, and so he was quite happy to pour glasses. He filled up glasses. I mean, what's he? What does he care? I mean, if he doesn't finish his 12 bottles in the box, he hasn't done his job of each. So by the time he was packing up, I was chatting with him, and it turns out we had a couple of mutual friends from Stellenbosch, and he was doing this and doing that. No, okay, fine, chat. And he's like, well, look, I'm about to pack up, and I don't really want to take any of these bottles home. They're heavy. Do you want them? And so handed over a couple of bottles of wine, and off we went.
It's weird, Andrew. I didn't get an invitation to that.
There's a standing invite every Friday night to the club, I think you'll remember, that you've never accepted.
I did once.
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah, for my birthday. No, that's quite right. Nathan didn't, but that is a long drive, so that's okay.
We have some. Sorry, my phone has been buzzing here. Real-time follow-up. Apparently, Trump's new director of communications is no longer the director of communications.
What, have they really got rid of the mooch?
Scaramucci is gone.
Wow.
So how many of the originals are left?
I don't think there's many.
Well, he wasn't an original, but
Bannon is still there. The scary lady is still there. And then Fester and the rest of the gang, the rest of the Trump clan are still there as well.
Isn't the guy with the big goatee, the big chubby guy with the goatee? What's his name?
Big chubby guy with a goatee.
Yeah, black hair, black goatee, quite overweight. I can't remember now.
I know Bannon is still there.
Yeah, but, no, younger than Bannon. He looks sort of mid-40s. I don't know. I don't keep.
Gorka.
Yes, Gorka. There we go. Him.
Yeah. Apparently, no, he's still there.
More real-time follow-up. Mr. Setzer says, I may have been shouted at for opening my laptop. I'm typing this from the bathroom. Oh, that's special.
Welcome to married life.
Yay. Oh, he gets a laser poo for that.
You know what? My wife, I don't know where my wife is. She's out somewhere. We have a calendar, but like whether it gets used or not.
My missus is out for a book night.
Book club.
Yeah, book club. I mean, if they were more honest about it, they'd say, it's Chardonnay club. I mean, it's like us calling whiskey evenings tech evenings. I mean, yes, we do talk about it, but we're actually there to drink whiskey. She comes back every now and again with a book to keep the pretense alive, but we all know that it's a Chardonnay club.
Wasn't Candace in the same book club?
I really don't know.
Oh, no, yeah.
That probably Sarah's had quite a lot of the southern suburbs moms in one or two of the book clubs. She's got a school one, and she's got two. One with her school friends, and one with her school friends that she went to school with, and one of the school friends whose kids go to school with her kids. And she'd probably join another one if she was allowed, or if she wanted to, or had the time.
So I'm curious. This bottle doesn't have any tasting notes.
Oh, then how do you know what it tastes like?
Well, I'm not even joking. I was thinking that exact same thing. I'm like, what is this? What am I tasting here? But
Masterofmalt.com.
Hmm?
Isn't it masterofmalt.com?
No, but I don't want to read up. I want to actually like smell what I'm smelling here. Because it's actually very nice. It's like a sweet caramel. But I don't want to say stupid things like bananas and leather, because there's definitely none of that crap in there. It just tastes
But
nice.
like, who eats leather in the first place?
Oh, bro. It's one of the favorite things from watching Gary Vee and his Wine Library TV, was just the descriptors he'd use to describe wine. They were just phenomenal. Like fresh tar and like donkey crap. It's bizarre.
You need to go spend some time with some proper wine aficionados to learn the lingo.
No. I just went to a cupping with Jeremy at Tribe.
Hang on, what are we
really
talking about?
Stupid. If you go for a coffee cupping, Andrew, then you start feeling like a real chop. Because you can smell like earth tones. I'm like, I smell coffee. I'm like, I'm a Philistine. But yeah, that was quite interesting. Have you been to a cupping?
Interesting. No, carry on.
No, I was going to ask you if you'd ever been to one.
Oh no, I've just tried coffee at lots of different places. I've had quite an interesting. I had a watermelon aftertaste coffee from Origin once. That was quite epic. It was actually like quite mind blowing that like coffee tastes like watermelon. Otherwise, I quite enjoy a nutty aftertaste in a coffee, or like a fruity Ethiopian. But yeah, I don't know. They seem to vary. Not always super fruity. Very difficult to compete with Espresso Lab down in the Garden Route.
Yeah, I must admit, I'd want to be warned if my coffee was going to have a watermelon aftertaste. As long as I'm warned up front, then I'll probably enjoy it. But if
totally.
I'm not going to pick watermelon as what I'm tasting, and I'm going to think something's gone horribly wrong.
It's like, sorry, do you have any vanilla flavored coffee, please?
No. I haven't done that yet, but we really should. It should be a dare or a challenge. Everyone to go into Origin, order a coffee, but order something hopelessly pretentious, like a siphon or one of them, with some like almond syrup or something, and just to watch her face, just to see what she says.
I mean, look, as much as I love to mock a siphon, as much as as the next guy, there was the time during Brian Malefit's load shedding when I went to Always, and the only option I had was a siphon. And I will say the Kangalani made, it was the only one I've ever had.
Yeah, never had a siphon before. Done, I think, all the other ones. I could never bring myself to having someone turn up at my table with a siphon. I just figured I'd look like an absolute.
No, look, you will look like an ass. I mean, it's simple as that.
But I suppose if it's the only coffee they're serving at the time, then that's a great excuse to try it.
Is that the one where they heat it on the little flame, it pushes the water up, and then it sucks it down again?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've seen it. I'm not sure if I've had one.
It was very nice. It's very nice. It seems very convoluted.
Yeah.
It's like overcomplicating the matter.
Yeah, that's kind of my difficulty with it.
I'm sure someone who knows a lot more about coffee than I do can tell us why it's good. But for the amount of effort that goes into that, I'm just put some ground coffee into a mocha pot, onto a flame. I'm happy.
Yeah, if you have to use a flame, yeah. Or boil some water on a flame and chuck it over a filter. Now, I've tried a whole bunch of things, and the one I keep coming back to, if I have the option, is just a stupid pour over in a little filter paper. Everything else is just too, God no, complicated, convoluted. I mean, it helps that hopefully future friend of the show, Mr. Lefevre, does roast some pretty remarkable coffee, which tastes wonderful on a pour over. but just a stupid filter paper and I'm done. I tried all the other ones and there was so much work and so much cleaning and so much everything.
Now, do you put the powder in the paper and then pour the hot water, or
Well, oh man, you pour the water over the filter paper first.
No,
Yeah, of course.
This is easy. Remember, this is easy.
Yeah, that's easy. The thing is, do you know what sold me on the rinse the paper filter so that the coffee doesn't taste like paper? Seriously, if you can taste paper through the taste of coffee, something is really going weirdly wrong. But no, the thing that sold me is I'd normally chuck water into my cup to warm my cup up before I chuck coffee into it, so the coffee doesn't go cold straight away, right? So I thought, well, if I put if I just do it, and chuck the filter on top first and chuck the water through the filter into the cup to warm the cup up, well, what's the difference? And then I found that actually it's easier to control the coffee, like not sort of doing stupid things inside the filter if the filter paper was wet when you chuck the coffee in it. So it was a thing that you're supposed to do that I ended up doing because I was doing it anyway. But no, I don't have one of those little jugs that has the sort of spout that looks like this. Turns out any kettle that has a metal spout is a sharp enough metal spout generally to pour a controlled bit of water. And if you can't control that, then I don't know, then you need help. I don't know. It's pretty simple. And I haven't tasted the difference when a friend of mine came around with one of those funky spouty things for 1,000 Rand or whatever they cost. It's bonkers. And tried to make coffee with that, and it tastes exactly the same when we double blinded with a standard metal kettle. So I don't know. I don't know any of the toys. I've got a plastic funnel thing because it's unbreakable, and the ceramic ones are breakable, and you have to heat them up so the coffee doesn't go cold. And the plastic ones cost 100 Rand, and the ceramic ones cost 350, 400, something crazy.
And they're not kid-proof.
Yes, they are supremely not kid-proof. They probably also aren't dishwasher proof. They probably also aren't chucking around the kitchen proof. They're all sorts of not proof. So I don't know. Plastic thing and some paper filters.
Okay, so I make coffee in a plunger pot, and then run it through a paper filter.
Okay. Oh, really?
So I use the
so you
plunger.
don't have the mud.
But to do the measurement. So, because I know kind of the formula for getting the plunger right. So then I don't need to worry about, pouring fancy into the actual filter thing. And also you can stir the plunger quite well, or in the plunger pot. Whereas I almost think, the contact time between water and coffee when you just pour the water over the filter, I'm not sure how much coverage all the grind gets. So basically use the pot, mix it first, and then pour it into the
so you're doing
filter.
like an AeroPress, a deconstructed AeroPress.
I guess so. Do you make single cups at a time, or do you make like 3 or 4 cups worth of liquid at a time?
What's that? Sorry.
Do you make 1 cup?
For the pour overs.
Or multiple?
I can make up to. I've got a small one, so I can make up to 2 at a time with that. If I have to make 4, my wonderful wife bought me a 4-cup Chemex.
Oh, cool.
So I bring out the big boy when I have to make 4 cups. But it's another thing to wash, so I only ever use that if I have to make 4 cups.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll use the filter the filter. What's it? The V60, I think, or something. That takes 2 cups. You can do 2 cups in that. Well, they say 4, but I don't know who's drinking only I don't know who's going to split that into 4. It makes 2 normal cups that you can fit into a mug.
Interestingly, I remember when he did that tasting at Tribe, Jake, someone asked Jake about the French press. And he said that apparently the best cup of coffee he's ever had was made in a French press. They were doing a tasting somewhere, I don't know, somewhere far away. Yeah. And someone made it. They did the measurements, everything. They marked everything down. They made the coffee. They poured it, and he said it was the most incredible cup of coffee he's ever had. So they immediately tried to replicate it. So the same measurements, same duration, same time, same everything. No. So French press, I think I used to. Well, no, I still do. I laugh at people who use French press when all they do is they take the teaspoons and they just chuck it in, and then they pour in the hot water as it's boiled, and they leave it for 10 minutes, and they come back because they like strong coffee.
Yeah.
But I think if you do it properly and you've got your measurements down, you can make a pretty decent cup of coffee with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, straying on to the topic of how to make coffee, the difficulty is, you like your coffee how you like your coffee.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that you can't tell people how it has to be, because if you do that, you are evil.
You're an arsehole?
And you are an arse. And you can't tell people how to have their coffee. You can't tell people that they can't drive properly, and one or two other things.
But you can tell them how not to drink whiskey.
Ooh.
So I went to a whiskey tasting, and I heard that the master distiller from Jameson drinks whiskey with green tea.
That's nice for him.
Like, no joke.
Well, if you like, I mean, see, that's the whole thing. I mean, I don't. Who gives a flying monkeys about how somebody else enjoys something? I mean, it doesn't make it right. I mean, if I like my whiskey with rooibos and and I like sort of dip. Well, no, and I like sort of dipping a ciabatta in it. I mean, that's kind of my problem, isn't it? And if I like it like that, well, screw you lot if you don't like that. I really don't care. So the whole idea of, well, you must or you mustn't or whatever have something with something, I find it a really bizarre concept. I mean, have it however the hell you like it. I mean, there's some laws about things you can and can't do, but as long as you aren't, doing something illegal, I suppose some people might argue that green tea and Jameson is illegal, but
So another thing,
you can do whatever you want with Jamesons.
Shame.
No, I'm kidding.
Jameson's yummy.
So now, yeah, it was my first taste of Jameson, and then I also now discovered that apparently whiskey is made from beer.
Oh, what? Who? Sorry? Start again.
Apparently whiskey is made, like the first step in whiskey is making beer.
You malt you make a malt out of grain. Yeah, true.
I mean, that's like sad.
No, but then it's like, and then you keep
I think
going.
It's the first step in making any alcohol, isn't it?
What, fermented grain? No, but it's like vodka. You ferment a potato and whatever.
You ferment a starch. I mean, it could be any starch, whether it's because I know the Hope on Hopkins guys. They're trying with potatoes, grains, anything that's got starch in it. You can use to ferment.
So basically, it's everything that
that Tim Noakes doesn't want you to eat.
Yeah, I was going to say that everything that the banters don't eat, you can turn into good stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they're actually providing more alcohol for the rest of us.
Yay!
Thanks. Salute.
So they're lowering the price of alcohol by making carbs less. Hooray!
Yeah.
I was wondering, any chance to get Mr. Fundham over to join this thing?
You
Probably
can try.
not, I assume.
You can try.
Because he has to keep to his 4-day work week and 5-hour Yeah, and his 5 hour a day of work and working from home and uber productive and all these things. What's the chance we can get him on this thing? Probably zero. I wonder if we can get him to guest on here to talk about how he does his 4-day work week.
Look, it's midday, so he might be able to take a lunch break.
He said he was willing to do a talk on it. Let us know how it's going.
Oh, okay. So you mean like when we phoned him that one time at work during the whiskey evening, and he was sat in a room of sad 6x6 ceiling tiles, and he wasn't allowed to take the call at his desk, and he had to run to the conference room so that he could take the call. You know, the first job he worked at in Portland before he moved across to his current one, where they didn't like they had this culture that you aren't allowed to take personal phone calls at work, which is a remarkable culture to have. Yeah, I mean, unsurprisingly, they lost some staff.
So back on first smartphones. So so there was Android there in the mix. Kind of a mistake.
HTC Desire. Horrible mistake.
So mine was a Sony Ericsson P910.
Ooh.
I don't think you can really even call it smart, running whatever Symbian version it was with a stylus. But
or if it's got a stylus, it's not smart. But okay, yeah.
Well, it had internet access, and you could like browse things and.
No, but it's not a feature phone then.
Look, we were young and innocent back then. We didn't know any better.
Yeah, and then I had a Google Nexus S.
Okay.
So that was pretty nice. And then from there it was iPhone 4, and kind of like not looking back.
Oh right, so the P910 had a flip out, had one of those little flip out keyboards.
And you could unscrew it, yeah. So obviously unscrew the keyboard. But the screen was not nearly as robust as a nice glass screen. It had horrible scratches on it from the stylus after not too long. But
that is an unattractive piece of hardware.
I'm trying to find out. What the last phone I had was before, because I switched to iPhone with the 3GS.
Okay.
My first one was a 4.
I remember before that I had. Trying to find it. Jeez, I can't remember what phone I had. It was old. It was a little one. It was tiny. It was dinky.
No, but it's probably a feature phone then. So your first smartphone was then 3GS.
No, yes, because I was lusting after the N95 at that stage, so it was pre-N95.
Ooh, now the N95 was that everyone wanted an N95. I
loved that phone. That N95 that for me was like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, everyone wants. I remember looking at those when we lived in the UK. Looking at those, going, "Oh, I want one of them." But then,
yeah, I think I left Nokia just when they were going full tard on their designs.
Hang on, wasn't the N95 the one that you could slide the one way to get the keyboard and slide the other way to get like the play pause button?
Yes, for music controls.
Oh wow, that is cutting edge. There's a lot of buttons.
And now, with the Tesla 3, the car doesn't have any buttons. How cool is that?
Okay, so the last Nokia I had, I think I've just found it on GSM Arena. It was the 6820, the one that flipped open to have the full keyboard.
Oh yeah.
And then it disappeared.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's quite something. I worked at Vodacom for a while.
Oh man, that thing is disgusting.
It's special.
Wow.
Look, it had a full keyboard, you know?
Yeah, I see the full keyboard, but I also see the bubble buttons.
But we didn't know any better, Andrew.
No one's saying you knew better or worse. I'm just saying it's ugly. Wow. But wasn't there also what is that other one? It was the first one I ever remember seeing that it is a big phone, and then and you can just maybe, and then you slid it open, and the whole keyboard is behind it.
Oh, the 9310, the one that folded open, the 9300.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, those are cool.
No, I'm looking.
Yeah, those.
That was the one that's like a book.
Yes, yeah. Yes, it is.
And it had like an aerial that folded out.
Those
Oh, I
were
don't know
those are
about
the
that.
those are the C-suite phones of choice back then. Eh?
Wait.
I'm looking at it now. It had a 4-inch screen,
Yep. I
640
think
by
this is
200
the one.
pixels.
This is the one. The one that folded out and had a full-on keyboard.
Yeah,
That's
those are the
amazing.
business. Huh?
Yeah, I remember anyone in business had one of those.
You can work from anywhere.
Yeah, you can write your MMS from anywhere.
Yeah.
So yours was so we had 3GS and Nokia, Nexus S, and HTC. Well, Gio, you won. You jumped first. Well done.
Thank you.
I went from my HTC to a 4, and then to a 5, and then to a 6, and
Yeah, look, those are the days when I was still spending a ridiculous sum of money on a cell phone every month. And
or on contract.
come to think of it, I don't think I even had data back then.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. I remember on the HTC eking the data out. Like you'd turn all data off for everything, and then with your 20 megs of data you had a month, you would like quickly turn on like something or other to like quickly do something or like get directions to something, but desperately want like offline directions so that you can use it as a GPS because you're too tight to buy a TomTom.
Look, let's be honest. Let's be honest. With Vodacom these days, you're not like you're getting a lot of data anyway.
No, oh, they're all bastards. But
I mean, I looked at a contract the other day where they were still offering 500 megs of data for an iPhone 7.
what?
Like,
Is it
I think
meant
my
to be
system
like
location
only use
is-
at home on Wi-Fi?
yeah.
No,
Maybe they permanently disable cell communication, cell
No,
data.
it's because they want to permanently get you on out of package data is what they're hoping for.
But it's so wrong.
No, it's horrible. But
It's
I remember
it's stupid.
when we were in the UK, I got a SIM for £10, which is what 165 rand ish, and for that I got 10 gigs of data, 500 minutes, and who cares how many SMSs. But yeah, 500 minutes and 10 gigs of data for 170 rand.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time I was in the UK, I did the same thing. I'd go there, you get a £10 O2 card, and
Yeah.
I was given, I think, look, this was about 4 years ago. So I was given 5 gigs of data, unlimited airtime, and unlimited SMSs.
Yeah, for £10.
And it was valid. It was valid for 1 month.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect, thank you.
Yeah. No, it's pretty
No,
nice.
no, do they have things like Fika or Rika or whatever the crap is when you
No.
go?
No, because they know that it means nothing, so they don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of nonsense. It's all this extra admin. I had to renew my car license today, and thankfully I've already done the whole Fika thing. But I mean, like, what nonsense! You go into this place to pay people money and give them your odometer reading. Why can't I just do that online? I mean,
You can.
like even
But you
In
can.
Cape Town,
no,
you can.
not in George.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
We've got
Only Gauteng and I think like Cape Town support.
Can't you
we've
transfer your car
got
into Cape Town?
Yeah, but just buy a house in Cape Town so that I can have a domicilium to
Yes,
online
fine.
car services.
It's fine. I'll buy your car from you, and then you can just drive it.
Well, the insurance
it's
is in your
crazy.
name, Gio. We have some speeding fines on this car of yours.
Oh, jeez.
Those are
I
depressing.
went and did a check on PayCity the other day, just to check. There was
How
nothing.
much do you owe? Oh,
No, nothing. No, the guys in the office the other day were talking about how they've got like between 5,000 and 10,000 rands worth of outstanding traffic fines.
but how do they renew their licenses? Because you aren't allowed to renew your license if
I
you have
don't
an
understand
outstanding.
because they all like the one woman actually has. Because Zita, you won't be able to renew your car license. She goes, "Oh, I renewed it a week ago." So I don't know how it works. Either someone's talking crap, or I mean,
I did try.
Doesn't work properly?
I did try to renew my license, but 3 years ago now. I don't know. It was quite a while back, and I had some stupid fine. They posted it to the wrong address. I'd never got the stupid thing. It was like doing 68 in a 60 zone. One of those.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for like 300 rand or something. And I'd never seen the thing, so I didn't know anything about it. I went there to renew my license, and they said, "Nope, you've got an outstanding fine on your license." I thought, "No, I don't." Like, "Yep, you do. Here it is." And they had the photo in there. Well, it's just pretty cut and dry. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, so what do I do?" And they're like, "Well, pay your fine and then renew your license." Okay, where do I do that? Well, you can do it here. Okay, here's 300 rand. Can I renew my license, please? So I don't know how they did it.
Well, I mean, the last time I went to go pay, so this is a story of white privilege. When I go and renew my car license, and I get to the counter and I give them my ID book, and I give them my license paper. The guy doesn't even take my ID book. He just leaves it there, closed. Takes the paper, give me the cash, paid, hands me back the piece of paper and my ID book, and says, "Thank you very much," and I go. I was like, great. So at that stage, we were staying with a friend of ours because we were doing some work at the house. And she said, "I need to go and get my car license renewed." So I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Why don't I go and do it for you?" She goes, "No, but you'll need to take my proof of address, my ID book and everything." I'm like, "No, they didn't ask for that stuff yesterday." So the next day I go off with her car license, stand in the queue, and I'm watching. And everyone in front of me, ID book, proof of residence. And I'm like, "Oh, crap." So I'm like, "Hey, look, I mean, there's 3 people in front. What are the chances?" So I get to the front, slide the piece of paper through, takes it, stamps it, give me the cash, pay, and I walk away. And that's when I realized I was the only white guy in the queue.
Hectic, man.
I mean, it's radical.
Yeah.
So white privilege is real.
So how it works is when you want to get your car license renewed, you give it to a white mate of yours to go off to the thing. If you want to get your car license renewed, you give it to a white friend, and they go and do it for you if you don't have all the paperwork.
To be honest, I just do it online now. It's
actually
pretty easy.
Sorry, what is that about white privilege?
But what
I
gets
didn't
me
accused. I just do it online.
is there's like, why is the government employing people, paying for a premises, for electricity, for running water, for a job that shouldn't exist? I mean, we've got SARS, which is the government's collection entity. Why don't we pay all government fees through the SARS website? Now, I mean, my credit card transaction says George Municipality for the car renewal. Why is the municipality even involved? It has nothing to do with them. They don't issue the license. The license comes from whoever, someone else.
Because 1%. If I can take 1% off every
no,
single...
of course, but it's so stupid. It's
not
like
stupid,
so
it's
wrong.
1%.
Guys, just excuse me. I need to bail quickly.
Ooh,
I'll be right back.
she's calling. Oh, no, one of the kids is calling. Oh, that sounded bad. Anyway, so this is probably not going to be one of the broadcast ones. Episode 0. Alan tried and died. Jeremy's hiding in the toilet, SMSing. Great start. What else do we have? No, I've got nothing back from the others either. Probably ask Brianna if he wants to join, but he probably does. Happy days. So then, going through the list. If we're going to get through topics, someone has to be the topic meister and say it. Otherwise,
yeah. So my thinking is that what we probably should do is choose like 1 or 2 ideas for an evening, so that we've got an idea. Like, let's say, for example, this night we're going to do the 4-day work week or remote work or something like that. Yeah. So then we've got like 1 or 2 or 3 general kind of like topics to keep things interesting.
Yeah. So we have this. So we have. I mean, because here's topic ideas, bullets.
Yeah, so this is really like high
bullets.
level.
Yeah, that's fine.
So each of these are basically topics that are the same as the channels in the Slack group.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Do we have a channel called Dad? Huh. Never heard of it.
So who is doing something there? It's Mark Perrell is launching a dadlife.cc podcast and newsletter for dads. So he's looking for ideas on topics. What would people like to read about?
Oh, Dad, there we go. Look at that.
What show can my kid watch that won't bore me to death? What game can adults play that won't give them back pain? Oh, wonderful.
And I'm back.
Cool.
Emotional kids.
Oh. Where's mommy?
No, more like, Daddy, I can't go to sleep. It's like, just close your eyes and go to sleep. So what did I miss?
Okay, so yeah, I think it'd be quite cool if we do eventually settle on some name. That would, I'm not sure what, something with a little bit of humor would be quite cool. I'm not exactly the branding guy.
We're unable to stick to one topic. So as long as it's general, it's fine.
Then what else we got going in this thing? I think remote work, 4-day work. Oh, okay. So if you scroll down, what topics for this week? Yeah, you'll see there's like this week's session. So if you scroll down, you'll see there's the day, and then it'll
sessions. Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at that.
I see. I need to scroll.
So you got like a template there. Oh, blog, what's this?
So I'm dying to know if Vince is actually going to manage to pull off an initial sponsorship.
I actually spoke to the sales rep from what's it? You don't pronounce it D's. Yeah, that's right. And they were very cool, like with the idea. They think it's great.
Oh, really?
And they'd be the Jameson evangelist or whatever you call him is keen to actually like do kind of like basically host a virtual tasting. So
nice.
Have them like tell us this is like what you're supposed to get on the nose and all that stuff, and give the history.
I think what we should do beforehand is you should try and get Octatel or Telcom to actually sponsor some fiber to the home for everyone.
Wow, that should be quite nice.
Because I mean, you guys look great and all, but I'm pretty sure you're not in HD right now.
No. So I pre-ordered my my fiber. Yay! 6 weeks apparently. So I'm expecting to hopefully in for Christmas. 6 weeks here. I don't think is going to be 6 weeks, but I have pre-ordered and they are sent. I've got my delivery notification already for my fiber router. So I'm going to have well, Octatel is the people, and then AfriHost, because we're doing our broadband at the moment with AfriHost, and they are decent, and anything that doesn't involve Telcom is wonderful. And all the non-Telcom part of our broadband for the last 4 years has been reliable and great. And all the Telcom parts of our all the horrible parts of our broadband have been Telcom related. So we are counting down the days to
I remember the sad thing was
Telcom.
When I used to go through Telcom through my employer. And maybe it was because I was going through the employer's account, but I had a 10 meg Telcom line that was quite simply rock solid. Never went down. It was always at full capacity. It was incredible. But then I came through and I broke through the allotted 3 gig limit that my employer allowed, because we're only supposed to use it for email.
Mm-hmm.
And I was downloading large emails.
Very large emails on the back of a truck.
Large emails.mp4. And
the 10 kb.
And then I remember when December, I got an email from the IT director saying, it seems you've gone through the 3 gig cap. Your downloads for November were 92 gigs. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Don't know how that happened. I'm sure it won't happen again. The end of December, I got another email from the IT director saying, you need to find your own service provider because you've now broken the record. You did 125 gigs. I'm sorry. So then I went uncapped. But yeah, I have to say, when I was with Telkom, they were pretty good. It's a pity that their corporate service is so good and their
so that's you probably had corporates. Yeah, you had a corporate line. We had a private line, and what really hurts at the moment is that we're paying Telkom 550 rand a month to hire some copper wire, and on top of that, we then have to pay for our broadband. Pay an AfriHost or someone. 550 a month, Mr. Telkom. Because we aren't in any contracts with them that could drop the price or any of those things. I'm on a month-to-month with them, so I can drop them at a month's notice.
I'm with Access month-to-month, and I'm paying $7.99, including my line rental.
Okay, yeah. So it's 550 plus another 250 or something for for AfriHost. But the point is, I'm paying 550, and I'm not actually getting internet for that. I'm paying 550 a month, and give AfriHost another like 200, 250 something for a 4 meg line, because the 10 meg lines when I signed up were 3 times the price, and HD wasn't a thing then. And we've battled through on 720p streams well enough. To be fair, our TV isn't HD, so what would we do with a 1080 stream anyway? Now the fiber option is 10 rand more than we give Telkom for a 10 up, 10 down line, and then we don't have to pay the other 300 rand a month. So and I can port my 021 number for 50 rand, I think, admin fee or something like that, and they'll port it across. And then I've got VoIP.
Will your alarm go through that?
So copper's dying. We've got a radio linked alarm or something. So when
I need to switch mine.
Yeah, when it goes Nina, our thing goes, because apparently otherwise they cut your telephone lines before they break them or something like that. So no, I was on a radio relay.
Okay.
And the ADT hut's just down the road. So
nice.
Apparently that's where it relays to or something like that.
So we got 20 meg DSL.
Hello.
Using MWeb and Telkom, obviously in the backhaul.
Yeah.
And also, like we had some issues a while back. There was some issues on the exchange, but otherwise, it just works. I mean, we also got a fiber delivered via last mile wireless, and we get about 20 to 30 meg per second on that. But we mostly don't have to tap into it. The DSL just seems to chug along.
Oh, so that's like your backup almost.
Yeah, well, the DSL is the core because it's uncapped, and then we've got a capped account with on the like fiber via wireless, and then what I've got set up in our we've got a Ubiquiti EdgeMax router, so both the DSL and the wireless go into the router, and then and that connects into our network. So I have all our DNS queries, like Google lookups and all that stuff, go out through the super low latency FOSS line, and then so kind of like doing your phone number lookup. You type in whatever, any domain name, it has to find the IP address before your computer can connect. So I have that go out over the fastest line, and then have the actual connection go out through the ADSL. So we use like very little bandwidth for lookups, but then pump the core volume through the ADSL. Cool. I think at the moment we do about 250 to like just under 300 gig a month
Yeah, we've got a fiber line at work, mainly because the whatever they call themselves, smart get smart, right? I don't know. Doesn't really
Get smarter.
Get smarter. Them. They're downstairs from us. So they just pulled a Cat 6 cable up from downstairs. So we just tap into their fiber, and because they are the suppliers for Vodafone and Neotel, they've got, I think, 4 lines coming in, 2 from each. And if fiber goes down for them, it means that fiber's gone down for the whole country, essentially. So our internet has been rock solid and, well, as fast as we pay for, but we don't pay for fast. We do live in the email world as consultants, so we really don't need fast internet. We've got like a 10 up, 10 down line, and that's fine. That gets all our work done while we watch necessary sports on the DSTV app.
Yeah, look, I would agree with you, but I downloaded a 12 gig file in 22 minutes at the office today.
We saw your little boast screenshot. But that's because you signed up to Box. See, that is your fault right there.
They were giving away 50 gigs for free. I thought I'd be grandfathered into that for life.
Like
all my F rules were downloading to Box.
All right.
And then I got an email saying, ha, you now have 10 gigs, 20 gigs over.
Yeah.
So I signed up. I've spent the last while trying to figure out, do I upgrade my iCloud storage or my Google Drive storage? And can you believe Apple's actually cheaper than Google?
Is it? That's interesting.
And what's handy is it's your photo taking is integrated, so you don't have to think about it.
So it's $45 a month for 200 gigs of iCloud storage.
How much? Sorry, say it again slowly.
$45 a month for 200 gigs.
It's not bad.
You can share it with your family, which is quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
so they get used of the 200, or they each get 200?
No. So that 200 is shared between.
Okay, so you got a family 200 account. Okay.
So how did you do that? How did you do that? Because
you can do it on your phone.
Because I've got, I get Amelia and I each get different.
So Candace and I are each on the 50 gig option. So now what you can do is you can invite family members to your 200. So the 200 gig and the 1 terabyte option both allow family sharing. So what you need to do is you need to go, once you've done that, you invite your family to it. Well, they're immediately invited to it, and then you just go and just switch off their paid storage.
Okay.
So did you do this on your phone?
Yeah. You go to your iCloud settings, storage, manage, and then just buy more.
Just give them.
Because I'm already on the 200 one, but okay. So iCloud, photo, storage. I guess so. Manage storage?
Yeah.
Change storage plan. There it is.
That's the one.
So the thing is, I first ever iPhoned in the UK. I still have a UK account on my iTunes because changing is all manners of hell. I will never change. Everything. Well, yeah. Well, you don't lose everything, but good luck ever upgrading an app. So I can. Oh, that's interesting. 200 gigs a month is £2 and 45 of the P's, which I'm pretty sure is cheaper than 45 Rand. Where's my mathematical machine? 249. Convert.
Yeah, it's about the same. It's 42.50.
42.50. Oh, I saved £2.50.
Look at you.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so £2.50 a month to share it as well. See, my only problem is my major issue with iCloud storage is that it then means I have to trust Apple with managing servers and data. and I absolutely love the industrial design. I love their software. I don't love what they've done with data in the last few years, and I don't trust them.
That's fine.
So, I also don't use iPhoto or whatever it's called, photos stuff, that.
But you
Okay.
take photos on your phone, don't you?
Well, so I do, but then my photos, I've got a thing that takes the photos that automatically download onto my computer and puts them through Lightroom. And all my photos have to go through one thing. So because my non-phone photos go through Lightroom, it is easier to chuck my phone photos through Lightroom than to chuck SLR photos through Photos, which can't sort photos by date taken because Photos is an absolute bloody idiot. Have you noticed that if you edit a photo, Photos will, and Apple will recognize the photo as the date edited or the date created, but the date created as in like when the file itself was created, like, oh, I created this text file on the 31st of July. But so if I take a photo and I duplicate it, then date created is today. And so it'll say that photo is from today. It doesn't look in the EXIF data and see that actually the date created, or the date digitized, was, 2014 or something. So if you make duplicates of your photos, or if you import photos from somewhere else, or if you file in a way that changes the date created on the file data, Photos will see that photo as having been taken with the shutter on the date that you made the file, which is the shittest thing you could possibly ever do with photos. People make and change photo files the whole time. When you take 5 photos to turn into a panorama, you make the panorama when you edit the files. So that panorama has to have the EXIF data pulled in from the first photo of the panorama snip, or the last one, or the middle one, I don't know, pick one. You can't date created of the file data. It was the thing that killed me. I tried so hard. I needed one place that sorted out all my photos, and I went into Photos. I was going to export from Lightroom. I had my Lightroom little, you can set up export rules and stuff and libraries. And I had an exporting library straight into Photos. I had the whole thing set up, and I did it. And I was like, great, it's done. 5 gigs of photos went into Photos. And I opened Photos, and every single photo in the last 5 years had apparently been taken minutes ago.
Oh.
And
I know you're not talking to me because I work on a Dell.
You're working on a Dell. You're still sick.
So you can install iCloud on Windows, right?
No, I've got that.
No, but okay. Yeah. Isn't that a web wrapper?
No. So
It actually works quite well.
What I've got is a small Windows server with iCloud installed, and then I have Google Photos monitor the iCloud folder on the Windows machine, and then back up the files to Google Photos.
Yeah, I have the exact same setup running on my machine.
It's quite cool when Google sends you a notification. We've come up with something new.
Yeah, I switched those off.
Yeah.
It does some cool editing.
Now, I've got Google Photos on mine just as a catch-all in case I forget to do something. And also, let's face it, Google's searching on the Google's Photos app is far superior to the searching on the Photos app. So when you are trying to find something quickly, Google is flippin' clever at finding what you want.
I will give them that.
So I use it as that, and I use it as a dump store. So everything that comes off all my cameras just dumps into Google Photos on the free plan. The one where you can it's downsample slightly.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't downsample raw files off off an SLR because it doesn't know, it can't. A raw file is a raw file. So it just uploads the raw files. So you've got your negatives there anyway in an infinite database, which is quite nice then. Unless they do the bait and switch like Box did, but you know, for now.
Yeah, and their machine learning is obviously at least like quite a bit better than Apple at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I say, you know, Apple's and their software and stuff is amazeballs, way better than anybody else's that I've had the pleasure of using. But their data stuff, servers, and you know, boring, nerdy, geeky stuff that interests no one. Yeah, if I have the choice, if there's the option, Google is always a step or two ahead of them with the boring, geeky stuff.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask to farewell.
That's a good idea. I've got a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, wait, don't do that.
The last drop.
No, we can.
Oh, yeah.
It's been real.
Cool.
Thanks, Nathan. That was great.
Thanks. Talk again soon.
Yeah. For episode 1, we'll get more people on.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we can get the top, like 1 or 2 topics like chosen for the night.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've got horrible amounts of ship trips coming up, so I'll probably not make it for the next one. Hopefully I will, but probably not.
But hopefully anything that's not under NDA, you can tell us stories about the ship trips.
Yay! Oh, they're great fun. There's a lot that isn't under an NDA. Just can't say anything about the diamonds.
Right.
Cool.
Excellent.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Keep well. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.